So I guess I'm one of the only people who actually likes Fi. You know, the weird little sidekick from The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword who floats around and gives you advice. If I had to guess, I'd say Fi is probably one of the most unloved characters in the entire Zelda franchise. Okay, maybe that's not completely true, but still. Why does everyone hate her so much? Okay, she never shuts up. Okay, she's not as cool as Midna. Okay, she looks freaking horrifying when she tries to sing. But I really don't understand why so many people think Fi is such a terrible character.
What's so terrible about her? Is it the way she looks? Is it the way she sounds? Or is it the fact that she's padding to a very narrow, slow-moving game?
Yes, Fi can get pretty annoying. She's a character who holds your hand, tutorializes everything to a pulp, and she provides a pretty good deal of padding to the game. Enough padding to make you downright seasick. Because of all this, I can imagine it's pretty hard to separate her artistic side from her technical side. She never stops talking. She never stops popping out. She's like Navi from Ocarina of Time. Except instead of saying hey over and over again until you listen, she just forces you to listen to whatever useless schlop she has to spit out. You look at Fi, and you compare her to every other companion Link's had over the ages. Midna, Tattle, Navi, Tetra, that badass talking boat. And I suppose it's easy to see why everyone dislikes her. She carries not the same charm, perhaps, that the other characters brandish so well. And really, I guess the only partner she compares to is Navi.
Hey, 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 look, listen, hey.
Navi was the first companion to ever appear in a Zelda game. And, well, people kind of hated her. Mostly because, like Fi, she never shuts up. Although with Navi, it was more an issue of the sounds she made as opposed to actual dialogue. I mean, it's hard to ignore someone when they're quite literally floating around your face and shouting the words hey, hey, and hey every time you move an inch or look at something other than the dirt. In some ways, however, you could actually say Fi is worse than Navi. Navi's advice is actually somewhat useful, and you don't need to listen to it if you don't want to. Fi, on the other hand, is almost impossible to avoid. And the advice she gives you is not only stupid, but half the time it's just obvious, duh. Yes, Fi, I know I should bring a shield with me on my quest. Thank you for telling me. Oh, thank you, Fi. Thank you for advising me to go inside the temple. I was actually gonna go around it and stare at the clouds while spinning in circles. I couldn't have imagined I was supposed to go inside the temple. Who would have known I was supposed to go inside the bloody temple?
So yeah, I can understand why people think Fi is annoying. But at the same time, I don't think she deserves to be hated. In a lot of ways, I think she's actually a really cool character.
First of all, I think her design is awesome. I mean, have you ever seen a character like this? After Midna from Twilight Princess, this was just the freshest way to go. It was perfect for something new. The tall figure, the metallic skin, the shimmering robe, the Victorian leggings, the unique color pattern, a wholly unpredictable character design that obviously had a lot of time and thought put into it. Second of all, her personality is unique. It's kind of funny, too. She's sort of supposed to be a robot, some kind of mathematically driven artificial intelligence, incapable of feeling emotions and often explaining things in a very mechanical way. Fi is definitely hard to relate to, and as I said before, she can get annoying over time. But for a Zelda character, she was fresh. She was something new, something different we'd never seen before, and I admire that. I like her presentation a lot too. She has this really fantastic theme song to go along with her. It's a beautiful piece of music. Just listen to it. If you compare this theme with the widely respected likes of, say, Midna's theme, you'll find the quality of the music matches up. It's just as good as Midna's theme, and it's just as memorable in its own unique way. And on the subject of Midna, you know, just because Link had one sidekick with a really fleshed out backstory, it doesn't necessarily mean every companion Link has should be the main character of the story. And while she was the best company we possibly ever had, it doesn't mean that every Zelda game should give us the best company we've ever had. I find Fi's weird robotic disposition to be a very welcome idea because it represents something of an unpredictable quality. Oh, and did I mention she dances? Yes, look at her dance. Look at her skate on the water. Look at her singing songs and spinning through the air. Such wonder, such pleasure, such grace. So yeah, Fi's alright, and I think she deserves a little more respect.
But you know what really deserves more respect? The game itself.
Yeah, not only does Fi get a lot of backlash, but so does The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. It's by no means an unsuccessful game. I mean, it got high scores and it sold bajillions of copies. But after doing the research and listening to fans talk about it for years, I am convinced Skyward Sword is the most hated 3D Zelda game out there. Getting somewhat lower scores than almost any of its predecessors, getting more fanbase hatred than any other for its art style, gameplay, and level design, and of course, having the absolute most hated companion from any game in the series. To me, Skyward Sword artistically represents one of Nintendo's biggest problems, their inability to experiment. Look what happens when they try something new. Look what happens when they do something out of the box, out of the ordinary. Their fan base questions their loyalty, bitches incessantly about the art style, complains about how different and ruined the new experience is for them. For me, the complaints against this game are no different than all the stupid complaints against Wind Waker, against Twilight Princess. Oh, Twilight Princess is too dark. It's just too dark to be a real Zelda game. Oh, Wind Waker is so cartoony. It's a grotesque abomination, an insult to the very name of Zelda. Fanboy whining really gets on my nerves. The fact of the matter is, Skyward Sword is a good game. It's not my favorite, and it's certainly not a groundbreaking Zelda game. But you know what? It's a good one. It's a really good one. And it's an exceptional video game in comparison to most, because it does its own thing and gets away with it, being both very fun to play and totally original. Just look at this game for me. Look at it. In the current modern-day console industry, where ideas are being tossed back and forth with little to no imagination whatsoever, can you think of any other game like this? No, you can't, because there isn't any other game like this. It was unique for a Zelda game, very different from anything we were expecting, and it was the first Zelda game that tried to make use of full-motion swordplay. I'm not gonna act like it's perfect. There are plenty of things I don't like about Skyward Sword. I wish the world was a lot bigger, I wish the game weren't so linear, and I really wish it didn't involve so much backtracking. But, you know, at least when you're backtracking, it's usually for the purpose of reaching something new. And after all, the only reason we get upset about this kind of thing is because we compare it to other Zelda games. And, in all fairness, we should. Because after all, most Zelda games are very much the same. But you see, that's the reason I respect Skyward Sword. It's different than most Zelda games. And in an age where publishers are horrified of releasing a game that doesn't look like shimmering porcelain, it's charming to see a game that just wants to be fun, focusing primarily on its gameplay, its world, and its story. Skyward Sword, Skyloft, Fi, they're fresh ideas. They play with the formula in new ways. And when it comes to Nintendo, I think trying new things is a necessity at best.
Skyward Strike.
Hey, thanks for waiting on me, guys. I've got a lot of new content coming your way soon, so just bear with me. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out my other 2 shows. And if you want to see more of my stuff, don't forget to subscribe.